Hello YouTube, Sebastian here, and welcome to a new Game Maker Studio 2 tutorial, or Game Maker Studio 1 if you use that. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this a randomly generated room. So what we have here, all the grey parts of this room is walls, and all the black parts, that is the floor basically. So as you can see, I can hit enter here, and every time I do that it'll give me a new randomly generated room. And the thing about this system that we're going to make, it's actually really quite good, because you have no places in this room where the player can't get to, because we're using a special kind of technique to generate this, called the Drunken Walk technique. So it also has some other features some other features that I wanted to show you. In here, this is all the code that we're going to be making, so if you want to do it, you can look at it here. But you can change like the chat, how smooth or how smooth this thing will feel. So if we change this one to like 75, what we can do here is we can get a more smooth like kind of layout of this room, where the floors are a little bit more smoothed out. And we can change how many times that we want to move, like how big the floors should be, so we can make a small room if we change this one to 100. So now we have a small room. This will be a small room each time. Some bigger than others, of course, but that's what I'm going to be showing you to make today. So I really hope that you'll stay tuned for it, and it'll be coming right here. Okay, so now that you've seen what we're going to be making today, let's get started and let's get this going. So first of all, I have a room here called room 0, which I have set up to be it's 614 width and height, and then I have some wall sprites which are 16 by 16, so there's enough space for 40 by 40 here. So we should have like a decent sized room to make this in. So first of all, the way this works is we basically fill out the whole room with walls. We could do that here, but I'm going to do it by code. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our object, our level gen, we're just going to place it somewhere like in the middle here, and then it's just going to go around from spot to spot, and it's going to remove any like objects that are there. So it'll just go around, move from spot to spot, and remove objects. So that's pretty much all. Let's get started right here. So first of all, I have a level gen. I'm sorry for the noise outside. Okay, so I have a level gen object, and in here we're going to make a create event. Then we're going to fill the room. So first of all, I like to make a macro. So just hashtag macro, and then let's do tile size, just so I have the tile size, and make that 16. So now I'll use a for loop, and I'll have variable I equal to 0, and then I is less than room width div tile size, and we spell room width like that, room width divided by tile size, or div tile size, and then I plus plus. So basically we are making the room coordinates into a grid, so this will just loop through like for each part of the grid in the width. And then we're going to do the same with the for loop, just in this is the what we just made is the horizontal lines that we're looping through. Now we want to loop through the vertical lines, so we're going to have for variable j equals 0, j is less than room height divided, or div. We want to use a div operator here, because that makes sure we get no remainder. There we go. So now we can do instance create, add a layer, and the x position will be I times tile size, and the y will be j times tile size, There we go. And the layer ID will be, I think the default name is just instances. Yes, so we'll do that. We'll create instances. There we go. And we want to create a wall. So now what this does is filling up the room with walls. So we should see, if I launch the game, it should just be completely filled with walls. Yeah, so you can see the room's background is usually black and it is now grey, which is the wall colour. So we filled in the room. Perfect. Next up, all we want to do is we want to make basically this object just move randomly around wherever it is, just remove objects, as I've said before. So first of all, we need a direction, and we need that to equal to 0. Let's just do variable dir. And then what we want to do is we want to repeat this. So this is where the code is. We want to have a repeat loop, and this is just basically going to move it around. So here you can put in however many times you want it to move around. So let's try with 100 first. And then what we are going to do is we're going to have dir right here. We'll set it equal to choose. And we're going to make it choose 0, 1, 2, or 3. And then we're going to times that up by 90. So this will be equal to like right, up, down, and left. And now what we want to do is we want to have this one. We want to have our x plus equal. Then we want to have, no, actually first we want to delete the block that we are on, because we want to start with the middle one. So we're going to have okay, so what we want to do is, the easiest way to do this is actually just assign, well, first of all, I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. First of all, I'm just going to assign the same sprite as a wall to our level gen. And this will just make sure we can use, now it has a collision box, so we can check for collisions. So we can see here, we will have our, first of all, we have we're going to have a variable called object, and we're going to set it equal to, it's not the place meeting, it is another variable that we'll need, oh sorry, and it is not there, it is instance place, that one, we want to use the instance place, and the x will be the x of this one and the y of this one, and the object we want to check for is a wall. So basically this one will check if it is our object, the level generator object, is meeting another object, and if it is, it's going to return the ID of that object into our variable object here. So we're going to say instance destroy, and then we're going to have object. And now, if we actually untick the visible here, we should see, hopefully, a hole in the room. Yeah, so it's deleted this one. I've done that 100 times already. What we want to do now is we want to have our x plus equals length dir x, and the length we want to move it in is the tile size. And we want to move it in our direction that we had before, and we want to do exactly the same with our y. And then we want to have the y. And let's go, let's see. So now it just moves around and does stuff. Okay, so we can actually add something. Let's just add a key pressed, and we're gonna add the let's just do enter, and do room restart. Isn't that, yeah, that's the function name. Okay, so now this is basically it. You can stop watching here. I'm gonna do a few more tweaks. So as you can see, every time I hit enter, we get a completely new room. And what you can actually do is we want to make sure that the X and Y values is clamped within the room boundaries. So X equals clamp, and X, the minimum X will be 0 and the maximum X will be room width minus tile size. And we'll just do the same with the Y value, because we just want to make sure that this object does not go outside of the room border, because it's just going randomly around. And then we want to have the room height. You can of course also subtract even more if we set tile size times 2 here and times 2, and maybe we plus the tile size here. We add the tile size to X. This will make sure that we, no matter what, will have a border all around the wall. So there'll always be a wall around this map. So actually might, okay, we cannot, let's make this one bigger. Let's just make it do this like 500 times, and then we're going to do we're going to call the randomize function right here in the beginning. This will make sure that won't give us the same one every time. As you saw, every time we launch the game, get the same room. This will make sure we don't. So as you can see, we're moving a lot further, but we're never ever going out. So you can see right here, it's trying. It would probably have tried to go out of bounds here, but it's not, and here too. So as you can see, this gives you some pretty neat rooms, and this method allows you to make sure that this that there's always a connection. There'll be no like part of this room where you can't go, which is pretty neat. So one last thing we want to do is I want to make a script, and I want to call this one a chance script, because we are going to make it just the last the last little feature of this, because right now it's very dynamic. But what we can do is we can like make it a chance that it'll choose another direction, so only sometimes it'll choose. So right now every step it'll choose a new direction, but we can maybe, so this will allow it to take like have more straight lines essentially. So we're gonna have a chance script, and then we're gonna have an argument called %chance, and then we're gonna have so actually we're going to return whether or not our argument 0 is greater than or equal to random of 100. I think this will work. So this one will, the random will give us a random number between 0 and 100. We'll actually do let's just do random. So if our argument not higher than or equal, it's actually less than or equal. So if we put in 40, let's say we put in 40% chance, so it'll check, is 40 less than whatever this number's been outputted to, and if it's less than or equal, then it'll return true, otherwise it'll return false. So right here we can do if chance, and let's do a low chance of 30, so you can just see what this does to the script. So this will change to chance here. So as you can see, now we're getting a lot more like corridor-ish rooms. You can see right here it doesn't really change for that long, and if we put the chance down the way to like 10, that will be even lower. Okay, for some reason this gives actually, that's weird. Let's put it up to 100 and see what that means. Maybe I've done something wrong with the chance script. I might have. No, as you can see, yeah, I made the wrong way around. Shit. Okay, my bad. It should probably be above, because when I put in 100% chance it just goes in a straight line, and it shouldn't do that. That's where it should be. There we go. My bad. So if we put in 10, so now the smaller the chances, the more like industrial this will be, the more straight lines you'll have. As you can see now the chance is very low, and if we put it up to like 70, we get more of a like a more nature-ish kind of look to it. It's more cavey. So this is a good way that you can like change the mood, I would say, of your stuff here, because the higher the chance it'll be more natural, feel more natural. This feels more like a forest, maybe. This could be somewhere in a forest or a random dungeon. Whereas with the low ones, like 25 or something, that'll be more towards the lower side. This looks more fabricated. Like this is more like some machine place or some corridor, some man-made stuff. So that's actually all of it. So this is what we created. So that's pretty cool, I think. It's really easy, as you can see. It didn't take me a long time, and I'll put all the code in the description if you want to copy it from there. So you can just copy it, paste it in if you want to do that, and then here you go. Pretty easy. So this is what we made. We made a randomly generated room, and you can press enter. It'll randomly generate a new room each time. That's always connected all the way around. There won't be any place where this isn't connected. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stay tuned for more coming in the future. I really like this randomly generated room myself. I'm probably going to show you some more in the future. Maybe. Probably. Because I know some others too, which I think are pretty nice. And yeah, I really hope you find this useful and that you can use it in your own games. Write to me if you have any questions, and just have a nice day, guys and girls, if there's any girls. That's been all for this time. Goodbye.